Premier League is back, baby, and as always, it's up to the big dogs to carry the can for the rest of the league. Manchester United against Fulham, arguably the biggest game in the Premier League this Friday night, is the one that they are kicking off with at Old Trafford. I can't wait. I haven't actually downloaded my ticket yet because there's a whole fiasco with the ticket, and it's an app, and it's all sorts of stuff, so I haven't actually done it yet. I am going to do it in a minute. The game is slated for an 8 p.m. kickoff, which is a mad thing to do, man. I actually think you should, the way it ends all being the same time, I'm actually really in favour of it all starting at the same time as well. But Friday night it starts for Manchester United, and we're taking on a Fulham side that parcelled us up last season. I spoke to Andreas Pereira about playing against Manchester United, and he was like, we didn't even prepare because we didn't think we needed to. And do you know what? The bad part is, he was right. They didn't need to prepare for us, and they absolutely boxed us up. Now, they have lost some key players. They've lost Tosin, Ream, Palhinha, but they have spent some money nicely. They brought in Smith-Rowe, Cuenca, and also Ryan Sessegnon. They are yet to replace Palhinha yet. Scott Mctominay does seem to be their central midfield target. Has that paused because of the game being Friday night? Do we pick up Saturday with that? I guess we will have to wait and see. And for United, it could be the first time we actually see Joshua Zirkzee in a United shirt, although pre-season does allude to it being, probably a Mount Bruno sort of false nine situation, I would think, if we're going off what we saw in pre-season and the Charity Shield. In terms of the United team news, Lenny Yoro is going to be out. He has had successful foot surgery. He's expected to be joined by Højlund, Malacia, Victor Lindelof, and now Luke Shaw. What do we say? Go to the Euros, that's fine. You go to the Euros, that's happy days. Make sure you're fit for the first game of the season. And guess what? He's not. I've got nothing else to say on that apart from Fulham team news. They're entering this with a pretty much full strength squad. No injuries of note have been reported, and maybe there's been more detail as the press conference happens, but I'll be recording this about the same time as the press conferences, so I haven't heard of that. It could be the first time that we see Smith-Rowe playing for Fulham, yet to be seen whether he'll actually start for them or come off the bench. Now, like I said, United and Fulham traded bragging rights a little bit last season. United won our away trip thanks to that Bruno Fernandes strike, and they beat us at Old Trafford thanks to an Iwobi stoppage time winner where they were really good, actually. Head-to-head last 5 meetings have saw United win 4 and lose just the 1. Odds are massively in our favour for this, and I think we're probably going to start to see some of United's new boys, even if they've not had a run out for us. They're not going to get minutes without playing. I think they're just going to get play. Now, Fulham's football has never been sort of called attractive, I wouldn't have thought, and they don't care. That's never been the intention. Their style's all about being flexible in defence, good organisation, and that collective sort of effort. But we can look deeper than that, and that's what we try and do on these previews, is we try and give you something that you can go to the game and try and identify as you're watching the game and go, oh yeah, that's that thing. Now, out of possession, Fulham are very well structured, and you will see that. There is an obvious pattern to the way that they win the ball, and it's mostly in the middle of the pitch that they're going to look to try and do it, because they won't press high for you, and they're not going to sit inside their own box. So mid-block, halfway line, when this happens tomorrow night, you'll go, oh yeah, Steve said this was going to happen. There you go. Opposition tend to find most of their offensive actions coming from the wide areas. Again, I don't think that's an accident, and I think that actually suits United for what I expect United are going to line up as. Fulham choose to show their opponents wide, and that's evidenced by the fact that most of their defensive actions actually take place on the flanks and then in the penalty box. They trust their defenders to defend the box, and their midfield is very, very compact, so you wouldn't even attempt to play through it, and you will go wide where they're going to look to try and squeeze you in those wide areas. The primary setup is a 4-2-3-1, and it's one of the many shapes that you see with Marco Silva And positional fluidity within that, especially in the wide areas, is what sees Fulham's wide men operate in lots and lots of different roles and in lots of different areas, actually, as well. Everybody is tasked with assisting defensively. You don't really see anybody given the opportunity to cheat. The entire side is expected to work hard. You don't usually see someone pressing out of the line like a maniac either. So there is controlled mid-block with like a bit of a confident almost effort where Fulham know that they'll get the ball eventually. They just got to stay compact with it. Every single man is more than happy to drop back, even the strikers. And they are actually quality defensively. Surprisingly, only Arsenal, City and Everton, weirdly, kept more sheets than Fulham did last season. So they're literally a top 4 defence. And Fulham's defensive effort is not put to waste because in transition, they try and make it count, and they have a deadly group of forwards that can inject a bit of venom into a game. And if you're caught napping, they will punish you. Raul Jimenez, Rodrigo Muniz, 2 absolutely dangerous forwards, both quality finishers that are capable of both winning duels and receiving the ball in tricky areas. You've obviously got Adama Traore, an absolute physical freak who can turn up the heat in any single moment. And then, as we saw last season, the likes of Iwobi, Harry Wilson, they'll contribute heavily. All 3 wingers are going to be workhorses. They'll play on either flank. They'll slot in as attacking midfielders. And work rate is what you'll see from them. And there's a pattern sort of emerging here. And Fulham's forward, or the forward line at least, has got a cohesiveness to it to be able to play in multiple patterns, multiple positions. And that flexibility, I think, is the trademark of Marco Silva's play. Once you add Andreas Pereira and Emile Smith-Rowe, which might share a little bit the same kind of role, you're going to see how Fulham like to operate when they get on the ball. I think their transitional play looks the best in the wider areas. I think most teams' transitionals look the better in the wide areas. There's probably only City that I can think of that go down the middle for Erling Haaland because of the pace and the strength of Erling Haaland, that if they get up against a team that plays a high line, City do like to go through the centre rather than go wide. Everybody else goes wide because most teams defend to set up that centre channel. They'll put 2 defenders in there and they'll leave the wider spaces open, so it's always on to put the ball into those wider spaces and get somebody after it. Like I said, there's not many teams that will go down the centre, and Fulham are the same as everybody else. They'll look wide when they do that. You got Anthony Robinson and obviously Ryan Sessegnon. Those are the ones that you're going to have to watch out for in that regard. Their physical traits and the fact that they'll operate down the left side will be something that combines and causes havoc for us. United have got a real interesting conundrum here. Do you go with Mazraoui, who maybe sits a little deeper on that side, and then do you clip the wings of Dalot? Dalot can't really get us forward, or do you go, nah, fuck it, let's get them on the offensive. Let's maybe attack their attack by making that guy defend, and you put Dalot on the right-hand side and try and overlap Dalot and make him get forward and try and drag Ryan Sessegnon back. That's going to be an interesting decision Ten Hag has to make. Now, with Fulham again, every player's quite multifaceted. They have 2 centre forwards that you can play the ball into dangerous areas, and sometimes that's all Fulham need to get the opportunity. Essentially, they play as a team, and the result that they get is a team that's filled with graft. It's got physical presence. There is a cohesion to the way they play. They haven't added loads of players, so there's not loads of people that need to figure out what they're doing. And if you don't understand what I'm trying to say, just go rewatch the last time that we played them, because this is exactly how it played out. You'll wonder why, based on that performance at least, Fulham aren't necessarily doing what Newcastle and Brighton have done. And the simple answer, I think, is in previous years, the individuals just haven't quite got the goals on a consistent basis. They're a bit of an outcast team, filled with players that didn't make it elsewhere. Iwobi, Jimenez, Pereira. Players that have got a lot to prove, but also they do have limitations. They're obviously beatable, but they're also a team that if you're not at it, they'll take points off you. Now, I'm not sure they'll beat United tomorrow, but I think they could take points off us if we don't mind our P's and Q's. Starting 11-wise, I think this will be how they go. I think you can get them defensively with Bassi and Diop, but there is quality in the forward line, I think, that can hurt you. Star man, I would say Rodrigo Muniz. He was their top scorer last season. Very, very strong. Real good with his back to goal. United, if they do have a weakness, if in Ligt and Martinez, I think someone that could come in and bully Martinez physically is something that can happen. If you can get on Martinez and try and roll, they could link up with those around him real nice. He's a tough player to figure out, man. So we'll see how it goes with him, but I think he'll be the one that is the threat. In terms of United 11, I'm so tempted to throw Zirkzee in, but I think he'll do it off the bench. And I would love Harry Amas to be given the opportunity to start here and really go for Fulham, but I think he'll be on the bench. So I think United will go with Onana. And it could be Dalot and Mazraoui left or right back, and it could completely interchange. But I'm going to say Mazraoui right back. And I wonder if we see that Dalot inversion down the middle, because that was a real fruitful ball for United at times last season when Dalot was played on the left. I think it'll be Ligt and Martinez. Now, Ten Hag probably do his press conference and just tell me I'm completely wrong on this one, but I'm filming beforehand. I think the midfield two will be Casemiro and Mainu. And then I think you'll see Mount and Bruno, and then Ahmad with Rashford. And I saw all the comments from the Starting 11 video where the people just not having Rashford. That's fine. It's all about opinions, football. And I still think that Rashford offers a hell of a lot that Garnacho's not quite doing at the moment. But if Rashford doesn't deliver, and if he doesn't play well in this game, I can absolutely see Garnacho coming and taking his place, and I wouldn't have any dramas with that. But I just think at the moment there's a lot that he offers that Garnacho's not still quite got in terms of his all-round play. So I would go with Rashford and Ahmad. I think Ahmad's going to be very key to how this performance plays off. For me, he's arguably United's most potent player in pre-season. I like the way he dribbles. I like how offensive he is. I like how direct he is. And I like the quality that he delivers once he does arrive into the box. He also works hard defensively, which if you are seeing Fulham coming down that left-hand side, he will help out, whether it's Mazraoui or Dalot, he will help him out. And I think that for that reason, Ahmad will be United's key player Friday night. Right then, with it being the start of a new Premier League season, I've also got some exciting news, and we have teamed up with Hollywood Bets to elevate your Premier League experience. And for United against Fulham, here is my bet. You can back Casemiro to be carded. No comment, right? Bruno Fernandes to score any time, and Manchester United to win. That has been boosted from 15-2 to 9-1. And they also have a treble. United, Liverpool and Forest has been boosted up to 5-1. That offer is open to new and existing Hollywood Bet account holders and applies to bets made on the app, mobile and on desktop. Hollywood Bets are offering a fantastic sign-up bonus as well. Daily specials, boosted odds to make sure that your betting experience is even better. Click on the link in the description if you want to take advantage of this great offer, and let's make this season an unforgettable one together. Terms and conditions, as always, apply. You do have to be over 18 and a resident of the UK to participate. Please, as always, gamble responsibly, and if you need help or information on responsible gaming, please visit gambleaware.org. Thank you to Hollywood Bets for sponsoring this video and all the previews throughout the season. Click the link in the description to get started. How do we beat them? You got to be strong on the wings. You're going to get shown wide, so you got to start playing wide because the opportunity will be there. Now, Ahmad, I got no dramas with. Rashford, yeah, there's question marks, absolutely. We'll see how he is and who it is that plays in behind him. I could be tempted to play Amas because of how much he mimics Shaw going forward. Defensively, there's still work to do with him, but like he is a real asset going forward. If you went with Ligt and Martinez and the gaffer's happy with the fitness levels of both of those, he might go with Amas. He might go, do you know what, let's gamble and let's see. It could encourage us to be a little bit more offensive with our game plan. And sometimes the best way to deal with the opposition attack is to attack them even more. And rather than us worry about what they're going to do, make them worry about us a little bit, because United do have real potency in the wide areas, and the wide areas are vulnerable for them. You still have Garnacho to come on late in the game, and I think Garnacho coming on against tired defenders, especially like this early in the season where they're not quite fully fit, I think that's an absolute asset for us that I would have off the bench. Ask yourself a question. Could you see Marcus changing the game off the bench? No, me either. Could you see Garnacho changing the game off the bench? There's your answer to why you want to see Garnacho off the bench. Hopefully it's not needed and he gets the minutes required anyway. Aggression off the ball. Now, Fulham's off the ball style, principles, could make it an easy night for United. Because I think off the ball United have been weak at times. Against City it was good. And against Fulham last time, we had no one putting pressure on the ball carrier at any times. And Andreas Pereira looked like it was pre-season all over again. He was just everywhere. Sides who mid-block, they like putting out little fires. But if they don't put out little fires, you see mistakes sort of compounding. And if United can attack with confidence, hold the ball in their half, move it around nice, when you lose the ball, if you can be aggressive in getting that ball back, and the back line of Ligt, Martinez, Mazraoui, Delo is aggressive, can play high, you could really get a roll on there. The problem is, if you're not aggressive, if they got a goal, they do have the quality and the sort of mentality to just completely sit back and just not even attempt to play football against you and just completely block out all the channels. And if you're trying to play football, you can't play through 11 men if they're just sat on the edge of their area. It's really difficult. And we're not in the match rhythm at the moment. Well, City and Arsenal at the moment, they're steps ahead of us where they go up against a team that doesn't even want to entertain playing football with them. And they go, so what? And they parcel them up. And they move it around, and they've got people who they know are going to finish it. We might enter this game without a striker. So there's going to be fine margins with this. And then the last one for United, how do we beat them? Just integrate your new signings. You've signed them for a reason. They're going to take the squad forward, if not necessarily immediately the starting 11. Can't wait to see Ligt and Martinez going. I hope that that's a starter from the off. Zirkzee could be very important. He helps find spaces and helps knit the ball nice. I think he'll come off the bench with Garnacho, and I think that's some nice firepower for us to bring off the bench. You want a settled side as much as possible this season. The quality and the system should speak for itself as soon as you get the opportunity to have a settled side. And let's just have a season with not anywhere near as many injury problems as we've had in previous seasons, and we'll be halfway there, I think. But yeah, that's how I think we get the job done. Please let me know your score predictions in the comments below. Cheers to our new sponsor, Hollywood Bets. Check them out with the link in the description. And if you're at the game, I'll probably down at Hotel Football nice and early, so I expect to see you there. And if you are in Manchester this weekend visiting for the match, please get yourselves down to Paddock FC, 3 o'clock Saturday if you're in Manchester this weekend. It's free entry. We're having a bit of a members' day, trying to get as many people as down as possible, trying to have a right good day. We're playing Wigan Town. If we win by 2 goals, we go top of the league. And my intention is to go top of the league and then stay there for the rest of the season. Right, whether that happens or not, that's my intention. But we'd love you to be a part of that and come and see what we're all about. And let me know if you think that my boys can actually play football, because we've done all right. 69% possession on Tuesday night. Can we get 70 on Saturday? That's what I'm pushing for. Anyway, thanks. Let me know your thoughts on the Fulham game, and I will catch you lot in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, 5-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.